Hello, 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 and welcome to the movement. We are the movement. We are motivational organization built to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. And Annette and Francesca, since y'all have your cameras open, y'all can roll your net with me because Annette always loves to roll her net when she says, "We are a movement to move." So everybody, let's do that. We are a movement to
To
move.
move.
Oh, you rolling good, Francesca. Oh, look at Karen rolling her neck. We are a movement. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living your best life and win. We've tapped into some winning resources. We're at a winner circle, and we want to see you win. Right, Annette?
That is so right. We're excited as always that you joined us and you're a part of that circle. And we are getting ready to start winning even the more tonight.
All righty, even the more tonight. And we have a great discussion as always. We have great discussions in store. So we're excited. We're going to get right into our discussion called Coming of Age. Now, when we look at that phrase coming of age simply means the attainment of prominence, respectability, recognition, or maturity.
Okay.
It's a term that's used to describe the transition between childhood and adulthood normally. That's basically the analogy. Culturally, we see people who do these things differently. They consider that coming of age, one way, others another. For example, we have, the confirmation of it, it's the confirmation that an individual has become a responsible adult when we look at it from that within a religious community. And then when we look at puberty is when you come to, in some cases, the loss of virginity or you're coming into that adolescent stage. In some cultures, it's when people are acquiring a legal significant age to do things. For instance, being 18, being an adult, but they ain't grown. Being 21, and brain still developing.
So ain't grown.
Others are experiencing a moment of epiphany where the childhood is set aside. And I know that in the Jewish culture, at 13, when they bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah these kids, they're considered an adult.
Wow.
Another case is taking the responsibility for someone else, for oneself and your personal choices. That's when you've come into that area of responsibility. So there's so many different ways to look at it. And when we see the bat mitzvahs and confirmations, the quinceañeras, the sweet 16s, the rites of passages, all of these things are showing the evolution of people evolving or coming of age. And I believe that in life and business and ministry, we all face a time where we have to put on our big girl and big boy panties, our big girl panties and big boy drawers, and just grow up. Gotta put your big girl panties on,
Gotta put low.
drawers on, and grow up. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, our actions, our choices. Maturity symbolizes growth. And when you can admit, man, I used to be this way, but I'm not that way anymore. I've really evolved. I've come of age in that.
Mm-hmm.
So the verb that I'm going to use tonight, because our topic coming of age, I'm going to use it in its verb tense because it has some interesting qualities, and we're going to speak on those tonight. Intransitively, it means to acquire a desirable quality. That's the intransitive verb. When you age, you just age. You have acquired a desirable quality. You have come to that place. Now, notice this is not a definition that's talking about aging as far as getting old is concerned. It's talking about that your quality has improved. You have become a better quality person. You have entered into a better quality of living, a quality of existing, a quality of being, a quality of business, ministry, whatever. You have matured and come to a better quality. Now, transitively, it means to cause to become mature, to cause to become mature. That means that instances and things and experiences in your life sometimes can cause you to just matriculate through something and to mature. So
Mm-hmm.
we have at times we have been like some of us were made to grow up at a young age. You may have been an older sibling taking care of younger ones, or you may have had to cook for the whole family because your mom was working, or like some people who had children young, they had to grow up because now you somebody's mama. So you've been put into a position that causes you to have to grow up. You have to take responsibility. So you have come to a place where you've been caused to become mature. But then when you come to that place where you have acquired a desirable quality, that's when you have really, really grown. Because you may have some instances in your life that cause you to come into a mature place. But then when you can take those things, those experiences that have caused you to go into a mature place, to a place of growth, and you acquire a desirable quality, that is the coming of age that we're talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go into our presentation. We're going to get on up in here and start this conversation. We have a good one tonight, too. So we're going to get this party started. Just like that. Come in as a baby, and then you grow on up all through life, and then you start bending over on your way back down. Isn't that something?
Isn't that something? You start down and you end down.
Yes. Start down. And notice the one who's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one, oh, that's when you are in that. You're in that desirable quality. And then when you're in that desirable quality, you're respected in those next 2 levels because you're in chill mode. We're going to talk about that too. So this topic, coming of age. Coming of age. Some years ago, I remember, of course, with me, I'm always about songs. I'll always either find a song or a movie or something that talks about something, that I'm dealing with or that I'm interested in. A song will just come to mind. So some years ago, there was a song, and that's going to be my first point. Some years ago, and I love this song because I love me some Toni Braxton, and she had a song, Just Be a Man About It. So that's my first topic tonight. Just be a man or woman about it. Just be a man or woman about it. You have to put on them big girl panties, big boy drawers. Yes, guys don't wear panties. Guys don't wear panties.
Okay, Nita.
So when you're dealing with this, I want you to learn to see the signs. Learn to see the signs. You have signs that will show you everything that you're about to go through. So how many times have you dealt with something and you see the red flag?
Yes.
And you just ignore it? Oh, you ignore it. Man, it's crazy how, God will sometimes be trying to like blow a bullhorn. I think we just ignore it. We ignore it, or we think, we think we can handle it. We think we know better.
Yeah.
And I want you to learn to see the signs. Because if you don't know where you're going with this thing, if you don't know where you're headed, you will end up somewhere else. You'll end up somewhere that you don't recognize. You'll end up lost. You'll end up in pain. You'll end up in bondage. You'll end up in prison. You'll end up somewhere that does not resemble what you saw in your dreams or in your visions or what you felt like you were about to go to. So in being a man or woman about it, it means that you have to learn how to grow up and see the doggone signs. The signs are there. And they are there to guide you and to protect you as you're going through this process. As you go through this process, you understand something. There are things that I was warned about, things that I was, oh man, I can go on and on and on and on. Friendships, relationships, marriage, business, all kinds of things. And you get all of the warning signs. You get the warning signs from mama, you know, we don't ever want to listen to mama. Mama always knows right, but we don't ever want to listen, and we think mama don't know nothing.
True.
We have friends who, you know, sometimes friends will be a little reluctant, but they want to tell you, but they don't want to tell you because they don't want to offend you. And then sometimes, you know, you see the signs in the people or persons that you really should not be connected to. But for some reason, you can't seem to not want to connect with this person or these people or this group or this church or whatever. So you go and do your own little thing. But the signs were there. And you knew it didn't resemble where you were going. That ain't the way, that wasn't on the GPS. That wasn't where you were supposed to be going. You were supposed to be going in a whole other direction. But instead, we end up like veering off path, and then, you know, we just ignore it. And then we want to cry. Then you want to be sad. You know, people are against you. Nobody understands me. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I thought he loved me. I thought they had my best interest. I thought he was my friend. I thought she was my friend. All of that when the signs were there. So instead of, you know, if we could learn to do this, which time, I'm telling you, Father Time has taught me some stuff. Because I be in some messes and I'll be like, girl, this ain't nobody's fault but yours. You did that all by yourself. Ain't nobody hold no gun to your head. Ain't nobody tell you to turn that way. Ain't nobody tell you to become friends with that girl. Ain't nobody tell you to get involved with that man. Ain't nobody tell you to step out and buy that purse. Ain't nobody tell you. You did it thinking you got it under control when the signs said, don't. Caution. Danger. We just ignored all of that.
So right. That is so true.
In a selfish mode. So I'm here to tell you, just be a man about it. Just be a man, just be a woman, whatever. Just be grown about it. And if you wear panties, I want you to type in big girl panties. And if you wear drawers, Marcellus, I want you to type in big man drawers. Type in, this is what you got to put on. Your big girl panties or your big man drawers. You've got to learn how to deal with your own isms and schisms. Because I know I have had to face this a many a day. And I had to put them on. I'm like, there's nobody, I have nobody to blame but me.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I had to put my big girl, who say big girl underoos? Had to put my big girl panties on because I had to take that. I did that. The other thing is, you know, you have to know your destination. You have to know the destination. And when you know where you're going, when you know what's destined for you, if you really, now there's one thing to see it. There's another thing to, you know, kind of wanting it. But when you know it, that takes on a whole new meaning. It takes on a whole new meaning when you just know. And when you know, you discern. And that's a spiritual place. You recognize the nature of that thing. You recognize and you have experience. You are aware of the truth and you're convinced of it. You know the truth. You have an understanding. So when you have an understanding and you have discerned spiritually, not from your flesh and not from what, you know, just your own little isms and schisms, your own desires and what you think, but when you have discerned spiritually and you have an understanding, you recognize the nature. You can see God in that thing. Big G, not the little G, not that man that you want to be with so bad that you, oh, I see the God in him. No, that's the little G God. You ain't seeing the big G God. I need y'all to see the big G God. But when you get to see that thing, that's when you know. That goes past just seeing. And that's why anything that you embark upon, any relationship, any business, any ministry, any organization, you have to make sure that you know the destination. You have to go past seeing it and knowing it.
That's right.
You have to know it. And I don't know about you, but I know what I'm supposed to do. And if you know what you're supposed to be doing, I want you to type in, I know. I know. I have no doubt in my mind. I know, no. I know what I'm supposed to do. And I know I'm right in the center of God's will for my life. And let me tell you something. It's a tough place because when you know you're there and things are going rocky and you're having problems and issues and financial problems and family issues and all kind of other stuff, that thing will surely make you question. You start feeling like Job. But I'm here to tell you right now that
You're
when
right,
you
Nita.
know, it turns up. That heat turns up, and that's why you got to not ignore the signs. You got to see the signs. You got to put on them big girl panties, big boy drawers, and you have got to know where you're going. And don't be around him see, this is one other thing we do. And this can go the highway and the low way. Age is not an excuse. I'm too young, not an excuse. I'm not experienced enough, not an excuse. Oh, I'm too old to do anything, not an excuse. That's not an excuse. You need to jump off of that. Age is not an excuse for not doing. You have no reason, you have no excuses for not doing what you're supposed to do. Just be a man or woman about it and do it.
Yes.
Other people's lives depend on what you are going to give, because you have to like walk in your thing in order for anybody to even see it, anybody to even want it. How you going to have music and it's in your head, Ebony, and it's on your computer? How you going to have quotes and they scrabble down in your little notebook and that, but they're not out there for the world to see?
Yeah.
How you going to have a book and it's on your computer, Anita? How you have all of this stuff? How you have recipes and they in your mind, Marcellus? We have all of this stuff that we say that we want to do, but we make excuses about what we don't have and what we can't do. We're coming of age. That's about maturity. That's about growth. And you have got to get to the point that you make sure that you step out of that comfort zone and stop making excuses for what you don't have, who's not behind you, who don't support you, and where you can't go. Oh, it's always something. And guess what? It's going to always be something. All right, woo woo with the t-shirts. I don't have my t-shirt. You ain't give me no link and say pass this out to the movement. Mm-hmm. Ain't doing no good. Ain't doing you no good, woo woo. Mm-hmm. Nice shirts. I seen them online, but you know what? Sent me a link. And that's the thing. That's what we do. All of us is guilty. Every last one of us on here. Just type it in. Type in guilty. You guilty too, Francesca. You guilty too. All y'all guilty. I don't even know who on here.
I'm guilty.
Who else on here? Name some names in that.
Yolanda, maybe. I think I saw her. Woo woo.
Yolanda, you guilty too.
Ebony.
Guilty. Francesca guilty. Carrie guilty. Marcellus. Annette. Nita.
Yeah, I'm guilty, too.
Woo woo. We all guilty. Guilty. So now that we know that we're guilty, and now that we know that seeing the signs, we have to see the signs, we have to know where we're going, we have to stop making an excuse for our age or our lack of experience or what we don't have. My God, that's one of the hardest things.
Nita say, Woo say she's guilty in her Isaac Hayes voice.
So now that we are at that point, I wanted to say this, and this is like to all of the young people and the young at heart, because, you know, there's some of us who are young and some of us who are young at heart. You know we up there, you know, we getting up there, but we still got that little youth in us and still want to get our little swirl on. We're like, hey, go sit your old self down.
Oh,
I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I just want to sit in the corner. Let me go sit down somewhere. But when we get to this point, we need to understand that even though, and this is not just about age. This next one I'm going to give is not just about age. It's not just about, being old or young. It's not about that. It can also be about You know, how long you've been on that journey that you're on, how long you've been in that business, how long you've had the t-shirts, how long you've been doing your alterations, Francesca, how long you've been saying you're gonna be a chef and do stuff with your gift, Marcellus. So it you know, we'll say, well, you know, I'm a newbie, I'm, you know, but and you know, I'm just gonna you know, because you know I'm a millennial. That's one of the biggest excuses.
Oh, I'm
You know,
telling
us
you.
millennials. But I want to say this to you. This is to not just the young, but the young at heart. I want to say this to you. Oh, sorry. Feel and look young, but be grown.
Be grown. Okay.
You can feel and look young all day long, but you got to be grown. You've got to grow up, period. And I'm going to drop the mic and pass it to Annette.
Oh, you're so kind. Oh, it's transition to transformation. Transition is a change of one thing to another, but transformation is a dramatic change form of appearance. A lot of us has transitioned, but a lot of us we have not had a transformation. And the
Mm.
first, yeah, so we've changed a little. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
went from one thing to the next, but in order to get where you're going, your business, your organization, you may have to make a dramatic transformation, a dramatic change.
Mm-hmm.
So my first point here is a move can be challenging. When you get ready to go to the next level, it can be very challenging. One of the things you really need to learn how to do is manage your emotions,
Mm.
because we have been in a place so long and we have transitioned. We think we've arrived, but you
Mm.
haven't, because you have not had the transformation. You
Come
just
on.
transitioned to another place. So we have to learn how to manage our emotions, because you know your emotions can just get all out of whack because we're so used to being a certain way. And when you have a transformation, that's a big change. And a lot of us, we've changed, but a lot of us cannot handle you know, a complete dramatic change. So we have to know that a move can be very challenging. It could cause us to really say, is this the right thing? Is this the right time? Am I going to the right place? So it's very challenging. It can be very challenging. So we have to learn how to manage our emotions. But also, let me say this: you got to be able to perceive, become aware, and receive. So you got to first of all become perceive. You got to become aware of what's going on. And so when God bless you with it, you got to be able to receive it. The thing is, we say we want it, but I don't know. We can perceive it, we become aware of it, but when it's time to receive it, do you really want it? Because if you really want it, that means you're gonna have to work. That means you're gonna
Come
have to
on.
struggle. That means you're gonna have to do some things. So we all have this perception: I'm gonna be so great, and I'm gonna write this book, and I'm gonna write this song. But then but we don't really we perceive it, but we're not really ready to receive it. You know, we perceive
Mm-hmm.
it thinking about it. But not on that, we gotta learn how to be a quitter. And let me say this: when I say be a quitter, what I'm saying is there are some areas you know you ain't got no business in. Some of
Come
us
on.
you can't sing, so you need to quit it. Some of us you got two left seats, you need to, and you know you can't dance, you're off rhythm. I cannot stand when somebody clap off beat. You know, some things we just got to learn how to quit. You're never going to be the president, so get over it. Some things you just got to quit. You know, so you got to learn what you can do and what you can't do. So when I say you learn how to be a quitter, you have to understand that that's just not your arena. That's not just where you're going to be. You know, I mean, like I said, I talk about it all the time. Of course I can sing, but I know that I don't have no business with a microphone talking about leading nothing. You give me a microphone to talk, I'm down with it. Give me a microphone to sing, I'll probably pass out. So you know, you have to learn how and when to quit. This is not for me. Figure out what's for you, and then and get in that vein, get in
Mm-hmm.
that area. If God called you to cook, cook. He didn't call you to. He may call you to cook and sing, but maybe the kind of singing you're doing maybe just for you and your little dog in your house. So you got to make sure that you become a quitter, that you do not be in areas that you're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's my phone. I hate it. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay. And also my next point is there's a shift going on. Both of these with the a move can be challenging, and there's a shift going on. It's your transition. When there's a shift, that life shift. You can get up, you can go to bed at night and get up in the next morning, and all of a sudden something shift. You should feel a shift in your business. You should feel a shift in your life. You should feel a shift in your ministry, whatever. At some point, you become stagnated. So you need to learn how to shift. You need to learn how to transition. And so you have to learn how to shape how you're feeling today. See, I demand my day. I put a demand on my day, because if I don't, I can get to work or whatever, and I can become so aggravated. So I have to choose my emotion. I have to choose how I start my day off. I have to maintain the feeling that I have. So there's, because of the shift that's going on, you got to learn how to shift with the shift, because a shift is going on and you still want to stay back here. God told you to go right, but you still want to go left. So you got to learn in this process of coming of age, you got to learn about the transition, about there's a shift going on. So learn how to shift with your organization shift. Because what if you got up that morning, you said, you know what? I am going to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you get a phone call and say, look, sister, I need you to come down here because, somebody heard about your organization, and they're excited. So what are you going to do? Are you going to still go to the grocery store? Are you going to go and talk to that person about your ministry? And that's what I mean by shifting. You got to be not so rigid and so stoic that you won't shift to the next level. You won't transition. And so it's so many organizations and ministries and business are dormant because they're not willing to shift. They're not willing to go to the next level. So you got to know there's a shift going on. Also, you got to be born again. Now, when I say born again, I'm not talking about it in the sense of, being saved, because, in order to be saved, born again, you got to believe, accept, repent, and receive. But I'm talking about born again as a new birth. See, because in order to be born again, a new birth, to get to the next level, you got to believe. First of all, you got to believe you can make it. You got to believe that. So that's one.
That is so true. And I never looked at it that way, that we're like each time we shift, we're born into a new prototype for our life. It's like a rebirth. It's a new beginning.
Exactly. And that's how it is when you get saved. The first thing, when they tell you get saved, you got to believe. You got to believe that God is who he say he is. So the same thing with your organizations and your ministry, your vision, or whatever you've been called to do. First, you got to believe. You got to believe you can make it. So you got to believe it, because if Nita can't believe for me, and I can't believe for her. But we got to believe for ourselves. So I believe that I can make it. Also, then I got to accept my limitation, expound on what I can do. And so there are limits, but whatever you can do, do it. Because I declare tonight, I just speak this prophetically. I don't care if you don't have one dime, there's something you can do in your ministry or your organization. There's something you can do until the money comes. So what if the money comes tonight? So there's so many other things on the back end you should have already done. So when the money comes, you can roll. A lot of us, we want this wonderful organization, but we don't put in the work. And so if something, there's a lot of work other than money. Trust me when I tell you. And money is important, but there's a whole lot of stuff you're going to do that don't require money. And there's a whole lot of stuff you do that will. So you got a whole lot. So you got to accept your limitation, expound on what you can do. Then you have to repent. That means turn away from what was and embrace what is. And even in your walk in Christianity, you have to repent. You got to turn away from some things. So you cannot spend all your time worrying about what could have been, what would have been, should have been. So you have to turn. Then you have to, you got to receive. You got to receive. Be open to receive a transformation. Be open to receive transition. So just like you're born again, a Christian, believe, accept, repent, and receive. When you get saved, those are the things that first little steps. Of course, salvation is a whole lot more, but those are the steps that you take when you're first saved. Because then because if you don't believe, you might as well go somewhere and sit down. You might as well shut your doors, close up the organization, because you gotta believe. You gotta believe even when nobody else believes with you, or even when nobody else believes, you got to believe. You got to know in your heart that you've been called to do this. But not only that, you have to have the, okay, this we call a butterfly metamorphosis. With a butterfly, they go through 4 stages. There's 4 stages. The first stage is the egg. It starts out small and it shapes, depends on what type of butterfly it is. So when you start an organization, you start out small. Yeah, we want great things. Our name is worldwide movement. So we want great things. Our name speaks for itself, but we have to start off small. And the shape of our organization is based on what type of butterfly organization we're building. But then not only that, you have to have the larva, and that's what a caterpillar is. It don't stay in a position long, because what they do, they have this larva that the caterpillars in, and all they do is eat, and they start growing and expanding. And so not only must you start off small, but there needs to be a part. Your next step should be where you stand in position. You eating. In other words, you're trying to find out about an organization. You're trying to
getting information. You're learning. You're fueling yourself.
That's right. And then you start expanding. So you're in that position. You don't go from an egg all the way from an adult. That's not how. There's a process.
Yep.
You got to do that. And then I think you pronounce this word pupa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay. And it said once they reach a certain length of width inside, is where the caterpillar is rapidly changing. So what happened? They're in there, they're growing, and they're rapidly changing, and some things are going on, and there's some shifting going on. And so even in your organization, you're in a caterpillar stage, but you're still growing. And what happens is the butterfly actually outgrows the pupa. It really does. It outgrows it. But then what it does, it still lets you stay there until you're ready. And so a lot of times we're not ready yet. We're not ready to go to the next level. We're not ready to go to the place we need to be. But then you become adult. Then that's when you emerge. And what happens when they emerge, they wait a couple of hours because the blood has to pump to get the wings working and
flapping. Come on, preacher.
And we talk about the flapping, how we had to jump, And after a few hours, they become a master flyer. So I declare tonight that there's a master flyer on the line tonight. I declare, but there's just a process that you got to go through. And I love when they say it's the blood is pumping. I just believe that's the blood of Jesus. And the blood pumps and gets you ready to take flight. And then you're ready to produce. And what happens is once they become grown, they reproduce. They look and find a mate and they reproduce. So they reproduce their own kind. And even in your organization, you should not have a problem trying to make sure that if you leave tomorrow, there's somebody to carry on. So we always should have somebody that we can have reproduce after our own kind. And so that's the effect of what happened with a butterfly. And the butterfly, it comes out, it's beautiful. It's a beauty to behold. The colors are so vibrant. And I just believe that if you step out, that you will begin to be like Anita used to always say about, when we started this organization, how we had to jump. And we had wings, but they weren't quite as strong that, we had not become a master flyer yet. And so we had to jump, but we began to flap our wings. And eventually, the organization got started, and we are here today. So that is it there. You got to know that there's a transition to transformation. So it depends on where you are today. And next is your beginnings today. You know what? Let me say this. This is what happened a lot of times, because we have had this dream or this vision or this desire for so many years or so many months. And then we say, oh, well, it's over. I've been trying to get this thing off the ground for so many. No, your beginning starts today. You cannot change yesterday. My beginning, every morning I get up, my beginning starts.
New mercies, yes.
Every day I get up, it's new. You know what today may look like yesterday?
Come on,
and it may smell like yesterday, but baby, it's a new day. So I don't care where your vision is. I don't care what have happened. I don't care how frustrated, because I have gone to bed frustrated and aggravated. But I get up, okay. I'm still working on my book. I said, God, dog it. But you know what? I'm going to work on it some more, and I'm going to work on it some more, and eventually it's going to be in print.
Yeah.
So your beginning is today. If I was in church, I'd say, turn to your neighbor, tell your neighbor, no, but I'm not. Anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. I love that. Anyway, the end may be bittersweet. If you say goodbye, life can reward you with a hello. See, there are some times you just gonna have to say goodbye to some things. But I believe some of my goodbyes is gonna lead me to some of my hellos. You have to be thankful for the memories you had, because what they did is prepare you for where you are and who you are now. Because those memories, even though we don't live in the past, but they push us into our future. That's what I believe memories do. Our memories are not, I don't live back there, but I knew those memories propel me to where I am today. Because if I had not had those memories, if I had not had those heartaches, if I had not had those disappointments, I would not be where I am today. So that's why the end may be bittersweet. But you know what? I just learned I've gone from bitter to better. And I find joy.
Come on. That'll preach right there, from bitter to better.
Yeah, from bitter to better. And I find a joy in the ordinary. See, because even though I may not do everything I want to do on a given day, I'm still striving. And and sometimes it can be bittersweet. It can. Sometimes it can be almost overwhelming, but I know that today is my beginning. So I start all over. Okay, when I get up in the morning, okay, I didn't do this today, but I'm gonna start all over, and I'm gonna do it. And if you keep doing that, after a while, you'll be build this organization or this ministry, or wrote a book or whatever, and you look back, you say, well, when did that happen? That's just like heartache. If you ever had heartache so great, and you look up one day, you're like, I'm not hurting no more. Where did that go? And so that's how, because every day starts anew. So just know the end may be bittersweet, but God got something that's even better for you, because some things have to end for other things to begin. If I keep holding on to yesterday, I will never, ever, ever be able to see my tomorrow. I will never, ever, ever see my next week or my next year. So I had to let go some things, and I had to let go some people, and I had to let go some situations, and I had to let go some heartaches. Because let me tell you this, a lot of times we like to hold on to heartache. You know that, right? We like to hold on to disappointment, because it becomes a friend. It becomes like a blanket to us, like Linus blanket. Everywhere we go, we got to take our heartache. Everywhere we go, we got to take our disappointment. So, you got to let the end may be bittersweet, but it's the end, let it go. And next is find your neutral zone. Okay, the psychological meaning of neutral zone is a psychological no man's land between the old and the new. See, sometimes we're stuck between the old and the new. We know we're going somewhere and we can see it, but we're trying to get, so we're in that neutral zone. We're trying to get there. So we got to let go of the old ways and the old identity. See, you cannot take your old ways and your old identity into the promised land, because Anita says it so eloquently. When you take the old stuff into the new stuff, all you're going to do is create the same place, the same type of place, because you've taken your old ideas and the old ways of doing it, and we always did it this way. Well, you know what? Maybe you should try doing it again. Maybe you should try something different. And then you want to take your identity with you. No, I'm getting a new identity. I cannot take the old Annette where I'm going, because the old Annette was scared. The old Annette didn't have what it takes to get to the next level. The old Annette had some issues, and she didn't know how to really deal with things, and she dealt with oppression. I can't take depression. I can't take that with me, because if I take that with me, I will never be able to walk in the beauty of what God has for me. So you have to know you have to find your neutral zone, but also know this, that every exit is an entry to somewhere. Every exit, if you leave, I don't care if I walk out my door, if I leave out the house, then I'm going on the outside. So every exit in your life is going to lead you somewhere. The key is, what are you going to do when you get to that somewhere? what are you going to do? Are you going to still look back and say, well, I could have? No, that's no, baby. We're going to not even use coulda, woulda, shoulda. You're going to use I can, I will, and I know I can do this. And also say, except it's normal that you have not figured out everything. So you don't have to know everything. The problem with us, we want to know everything. You want to figure out everything. You want to know everything. Well, some things you're just not going to know. First of all, you don't have that much knowledge, because what you may be the smartest person. You may, have an IQ out of this world. But along this journey, you're going to need somebody to help you get to the next level. You cannot do this thing by yourself. So accept the fact that you don't know it all. Accept the fact that you don't have it together. You got to find that neutral zone. You say, I'm here. I'm in between the old and the new. And so that's that neutral zone. But I'm going to get to the new. But I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to understand what will be my next step. I'm trying to figure out, how do I get there? And not only that, it's time to get started. You just got to get started, regardless of where you are. You may be in between the in between, but you got to learn how to get started. Do what you can do. And that's all that you can do. Because I promise you, if you begin to do what you can do, and don't be afraid to ask somebody. I don't know why. I don't care. I'm going to tell somebody. I'm not embarrassed. If I don't know it, I don't know it. If I can't spell a word, I can't spell it. If I can't pronounce it, I can't pronounce it. Don't be so caught up, that you're afraid to ask somebody. You have to learn how to shift your focus and start focusing on positive things. Because if you spend most of your day thinking about all the stuff you can't do, I can't do this, I ain't gonna never be, I ain't gonna get to, but then say, wait a minute, hold up, put the brakes on here. What can I do? So figure it out. So you have to learn how to discipline yourself. You got to learn how to love and accept yourself. See, we can love everybody, and we can accept everybody but ourselves. We are so critical of ourselves. You got to learn how to love on yourself, because when you're getting started with this vision, this mission, along the way, there are going to be some disappointments.
Come on.
So it's going to be some heartaches along the way. So you got to learn how to accept yourself and say, you know what, and discipline yourself and love yourself and say, self, even if I don't make it today, don't mean I won't get it tomorrow. And so, because if you don't learn how to talk to yourself and encourage yourself and tell yourself, affirm yourself, the first time something happens in your business that you thought you would be a certain place, you'll begin to throw in the towel. So you got to learn how to say, you know what? Listen, girlfriend, you may be broke. Like my mama used to say, it's Cooter Brown. You may look in your person and I talk about all the time, have some lint. All I know to tell you is pick the lint out. I don't know, but keep going. Still believe in yourself. Just keep going, keep moving. You don't know when the time is that what you need will knock on your door, or what you need someone pick up the phone and call you. Have you ever been in a conversation with people, and just talking in general? I was talking to a young lady on the job, and she was telling me all this. I said, girl, what? Yeah, just do this here and go there. She was telling me all the free places that I could go and get help with different things I'm trying to do. See, like I said, everything is not always cost you money. Sometimes you have to open up your mouth. Nobody knows what you do. I'm not saying just blab it out, but I'm saying you have to really communicate with people, because you don't know who they know. You'll be surprised of who knows who. You'll be surprised at what people know. So, it's time to get started. Get started, y'all. And now, and finally, this is very important. Out of everything I've said, you got to be in it for the long haul. Because what that means is prolong a difficult effort or task. This road is not easy. This road can be discouraging. It'll look like you'll never make it. It'll look like you'll never be anything. Your eyes will lie to you. Your ears will whisper stuff that's not even what God is saying about you. So, and a prime example is this. When we did the first book, I thought I was just going, I was going to just like, okay, I'm just going to roll on the floor, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to start, what I'm going to do, but it's done. It is done. I'm not a scholar. Sometimes I transfer words. Sometimes I chop words off, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? For all the things that I can't do, there's somebody else that can. Amen. So I had to encourage myself. And I had to say this, and I'll be finished. I had to ask myself these questions. Say, why not follow my dreams? Why can't I follow my? Who told me? Who told you that you can't follow your dreams? Why can't I live my life like it matters to me? Who said you couldn't? You know, why can't I be unstoppable? Why can't you? And finally, why can't failures and mistakes lead me to my success? So you have to ask yourself some questions. Why can't I? Why can't I do this? Why can't I go to the next level? Why can't I build an organization from the ground up? Who told you you couldn't? Who said it? And so whoever said it, you know what? Just pray for them, because you got to know who you are and you got to go for it. Just like at all these different stages of life. See, after a while, if you keep living, you're gonna be just like that last one, bent over. See, before I get bent over and can't go any further, I want to make sure I do everything that I can do.
Come on.
Because my beginning, your beginning, our beginning starts today. So whatever you didn't do yesterday is yesterday. But take whatever your organization is, brush the dust off it, keep moving. You got what it takes. Finally, your beginning is today. So run with it.
Man, run with it. Run with it. Run. And be like that man in the middle. Like them two men in the middle. You got to have that kind of posture.
Yes.
That's the posture I want.
Me
So we
too.
come to the end, and you know, a lot of us, when we completed something, I know that my mom was very happy when this day came, because it's like, oh, she was like really done when it was time for me, because I was the last one. Happy graduation.
Yeah.
Happy graduation. So when you're coming into that coming of age knowledge about yourself, you can give yourself the credit that you have graduated to the next level. You've graduated to the next phase. You've graduated to the next turn, to the next position. And when you graduate, of course, you know, when you have a graduation party, you know, that's when, you know, you'll get a little bit of money, or a whole bunch of family will give you little money gifts. You're like, oh, I got $100 from this uncle and that auntie and that cousin. And then you get nice little gifts for going to college. And so there are some rewards that come with graduating, with moving up, with elevating yourself. When you graduate with honors and valedictorian and salutatorian and all of those things, you get scholarships. When you graduate from college, you can get you a very competitive job. The job force sucks these days, but that's technically what the deal is supposed to be, that there are the rewards that come. And I want to tell you something, life's rewards are invaluable.
Yeah.
You will learn some things in life that you will never, ever, ever even think about that you got in anybody's classroom or in anybody's church service or anything. That hard knock life, that school of the facts of life, though the rewards from that and the things you learn, if you would just humble yourself and accept the graduation and move to the next level, you will see that those rewards are invaluable. You might graduate from college with a bunch of student loans because the value of that education was expensive. You could put a price tag on value.
Yeah.
Invaluable, it is priceless. It is past all of that. And that's what life will teach you, some lessons like that. Mess around and get hurt. Mess around and really get hurt. Like that real hurt that have you crawled up somewhere and balled up for a month. Mess around here and go through a divorce. Mess around and go through burying a child. Mess around here and go through, like all of those things. And we don't see that stuff coming. But those are experiences. And then when you go through things that you put yourself into it and God rescue you out, after a while, you like, I thought I was going to never make it. And then those rewards and the lessons that you have learned from those things are invaluable. And it doesn't mean, that this just pertains to young people. It pertains to everybody.
Everybody. That's right. Lord have mercy.
Because I want to tell you something. Age is a necessary but insufficient requirement for growing up.
Yeah.
Necessary, but it's an insufficient requirement, because there are immature old people and then there are some appropriately mature young people.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you are older that you have grown up. You may be grown, but have you really grown up? Have you really gotten those rewards and those invaluable lessons that life offered you through decisions and choices you made? Think about that for a second. The next thing is you have to think about lifelong productivity. As long as from the time that person is a baby and being raised by mom and them and going through school and your mama about to whoop you behind, making you go to school and do your homework and study, and then you become a young adult and you make a bunch of stupid mistakes, and then you go into adulthood, you have to take responsibility. So through all of that, you need to get that long-term vision when it comes to whatever you step into, that there is lifelong productivity here. Because, yeah, I'm getting older every day. I grow up, I grow every day. I age every year. That birthday come around, you be like, wait a minute, what happened to 47? I want to tell you, life isn't about your age. Life is about living. And you don't want to go through life just existing. You want to have lifelong productivity. You don't want to exist. You want to live. So, like when your birthday comes around, of course, people want to celebrate and thankful. Oh, God, that's me to see another year. But I want you to start to anticipate with joy and be happy about what the coming year will bring.
Yeah.
Oh, now that I'm turning 40, it's like, do something, like make that year that you project from your birthday, make that year so awesome. Look ahead and think about the fact that you are here because your whole life is meant to be productive. Happy graduation. And think about legacy building.
Yeah.
Because once that man got to that point where he's bent all the way over, you don't want to be at that point in your life and there's nothing great said about you. And then you leave here in your funeral program the story about you, and you can't hardly find nobody to speak as a not because you outlived them, but because you haven't had great relationships, great friendships, because you weren't nice to your family, you didn't have good relationship with church people, you didn't stay on the job long enough or have a career, you just kind of floated through. So you don't want that to be you. You have to think about the fact that when I leave here, I want a lot to be said. I want to be like, that girl, she wouldn't stop. Because you know what? I just can't. I got ants in my pants. I mean, I look at people like Linda. Linda, like, at Linda's age, most people want to sit down and do nothing. Karen got another little friend, Regina. I saw her the commercial last night. I filmed her. One of their little high school buddies. She's still acting and still productive in her career. And so I taped her on my phone because, it's a proud moment when you see somebody that doesn't give up and throw in the towel just because they're on the other side of 50, on the other side of 60. No, you are still walking, living, and breathing. You have legacy. And the more you do, the more you leave.
Yeah.
And then one more I want to say is that the reason that all of this happened is that you are blessed to be a blessing. You're not blessed just because you got all the blessings and you keep them all to yourself. When you are blessed with something, you're blessed with a whole new career, you're blessed with a new business opportunity, you're blessed with a new venture in life, you're blessed with money, you're blessed with whatever. God blesses you so you can be in a position to bless somebody else. You're blessed so that you can bless. And the more you bless others, the more you will be blessed. Oh, come on. Bless me. Please. Bless me so I can bless. Bless me so I can bless. Oh, come on, good people. So let me tell you something. I know y'all probably didn't know where the ham and eggs we were going with coming of age. God always got a way of making that thing come to life. And let me tell you, I didn't know where we were going with coming of age. But I'm glad we went where we went. And right now, the doors of the church are open. The mics are open. You all can unmute yourself and say a little something. We want to hear from you. We want to know how life is treating you. We want to know how you feeling tonight. We want to know what you did today. We want to know the blessings that you've experienced, the testimonies. We want to hear something. So y'all talk to us. Tell us something. Somebody open up the mic besides me and Annette. You know, I know we have it open for a reason right now, but you know how to unmute yourself. Some of y'all are not watching the camera. Some of y'all got your hands into a whole bunch of other stuff. But Annette, let me tell you something. I'm grateful. It's like I can't even begin to get emotional and upset about the storms in my life anymore because I have so much vision and so much purpose. I have so much that I'm looking forward to and looking ahead towards that I cannot afford to be upset about something that I can't control.
Yeah. So true.
I'm like, I don't have the energy. I'm not going to give it that kind of time and energy. Yes, Francesca?
Oh, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I have to say to you ladies that I appreciate the fact that you letting me know about your movement and organization. And it's crazy because every time when you send the invite, there's always something that happened either prior to or the day of. And let me just say that for me, I've been guilty of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really have. I've been guilty of
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things.
Me too.
And I can say for myself it's tough because I'm working hard. I'm trying to do the best that I can, but I find that sometimes when you're doing too much, you tend to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like slow down, breathe, look at everything before you just take off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've learned that decisions that you make for yourself sometimes affects other people,
True.
you
Yes, it
know,
does.
and they may not say it to you, but you can kind of feel the vibe
Mm-hmm.
when you are in that area. And today, I did something that I should have thought about, that I
Mm-hmm.
should have learned from. And like you said in the PowerPoint, the signs. And sometimes you see that, okay, maybe I did do this that time, but this time this situation is different, but it's still the same thing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's still the same thing. So I just
Mm.
I just want to say that coming of age, and um if anything, I would like to like have this segment here if it's okay, so that way I can, listen to
You
it
know,
again.
we
So that,
have a YouTube channel,
oh,
and
you
I
do?
will be loading. There are two, I think it's like two or three that I have on my drive that I haven't loaded yet. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you're new to us, but we have a YouTube channel, and I was also going to suggest that you go to our YouTube channel and watch our segment called Refresh, Restart, Reboot. We did
Okay.
one a long time ago called Refresh, Restart, Reboot that talks about that very thing, about sometimes you have to stop and you have to refresh, you have to restart that thing, and then you have to boot it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
We even had a
and
worksheet with that one. So if you want, like, if you go back and look at some of the other stuff and see worksheets, because sometimes we do worksheets, and we had a worksheet with that one, and I could gladly send it to you. But yes, that and this one will be up. I'll have it up by tomorrow. It'll be up, and I'll make sure I do an email. I do them every now and then, but I'll do
Mhm.
an email, and I call it Netflix Us. That's the section that I put on
Yeah.
our email, and you can go and watch all of our Can We Talk segments.
Yeah. But I can tell you the coming of age, when I saw the message, I okay. I say, you know what? I say these ladies always hit it head on. Like anytime when it's something, it's like the last segment was where we were talking about the test.
Hmm.
I tested the day before for something, and it was like, you're right. Sometimes we have to control our emotions. We have to be mindful of what we say.
Yeah.
We have to.
Mhm.
So all I can say, ladies, just keep up the good work. And I mean, so far since I've been watching your videos, it has really and truly like inspired me. It really has. It really
Amen.
has.
And that's exactly why we do it, honey.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
Mhm.
so much for that. That's exactly why we do what we do. And we want you to be encouraged and know that, God speaks. That's it. Honestly, we come up with topics, and like we said, we always say, we do not talk about it. We do not discuss it or study together. We used to, but we don't anymore. We kind of found our mojo and we just do it. And when we come together, we like, I wonder what she's gonna say right here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it all flows. It's amazing how it flows.
it is.
That's how you know it's God. And He gives us these topics. And sometimes, there's some that'll fall on my heart and say, let's do this. I'm discussing about this. And we'll just talk, we'll come up with the topics. Like, the title, really the title. But we don't even discuss where we're going with it on a lot of them. We just like come up with it and be like, oh yeah. Every now and then I'll have to call in and say, what did you mean by this one? Because most of them she comes up with. And I'll call her and I'm like, what did you mean by this one? And to make sure that we're on the same page. But most of the time we just be.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like about what Miss Annette said, about coming of age, transitioning and stuff, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid. If it's something that you don't know, don't be afraid. It's just that,
Exactly.
it's like, for me, this is my thinking. Like, when you're at that age, it's certain things that, this is just me now, my opinion, for me. It's like when you're at that age, it's like certain things you should already know.
Right.
And then when you try to figure it out, you wind up messing up. And then you begin to get, I call the ones that are older than me, I call the mature people, the wiser.
Yeah.
I get the question of, well, why you didn't come and talk to me? Why you didn't come and say nothing? We can show you how to do this. We understand you growing up, trying to make the right decision. But talk to people who done been through this, who know what's going on, Don't ever be afraid to ask.
Oh, wise counsel, honey.
Yes.
Don't ever be afraid to ask questions.
Nope.
So, like I say, this one here, coming of age, I really like this one.
Awesome.
I like all of them, but
Good.
I really like.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Well, we're so grateful. We're grateful to have you. And I know, and then anybody else on here gonna speak. Oh, Linda gonna say something.
Linda.
You saw how she put her camera down slow. I was expecting Linda to steal that from Bitter to Better. write her a sermon.
I have thoroughly enjoyed everything I have heard. This is so phenomenal.
Awesome.
And I tell you, ladies, really puts things in my heart and my mind and gives me some meat to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
That good old meat called knowledge.
All right. That good old meat called knowledge. I like that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And, I think, if we can get more on here, especially younger women, it would help them
Yeah.
along in life. They wouldn't have to struggle as hard as our mothers did.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't have to go through a lot of the things that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're on
I
here
agree.
and tell them about the things that we've gone through and we can help them,
Mm-hmm.
So you all just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. We appreciate that. Yes. Wise counsel. That's some good stuff. Well, all right, everybody. Well, we thank you all so much for coming. And we will be back again next week, same time, same place. And y'all young people, Francesca and Yolanda and Marcellus, y'all bring somebody with you next week. Bring a friend. Bring 2 friends, 2, 3 friends. Get them download Zoom. Tell them to meet us here at 7 o'clock. We'll be right back here, same time, same place, different time. And that you want to say something before we sign off?
Yeah. Thank everybody so much. And like Anita said, bring somebody. And I agree with what Linda said. If we could get more people on here, young women, older women, don't matter. I believe that, like I used to say in church, something can be said or done. to really change your mindset. Because I always believe if you change your mindset, you change your life. I live by that philosophy.
And if we can get we can get men back, we can get Theo back, like how Theo popped up on us one night.
I
He came
know.
on a prayer night. He just popped up. He said he don't even know how he got there. But he popped up at the right place at the right time, and then nobody knew who he was. And he hit me. He follows us on YouTube. He leaves us messages all the time, like, "Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one." So I hear from him. All right, good people. So we're gonna sign off. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Be blessed.
Bye, everybody.